What's good, y'all, man? As y'all can see, the AP poll has officially dropped for week 6 of college football, man. So we're going to react. We're going to get the latest, my thoughts on the poll, and the teams in there. What teams I think should also be in the poll. All right, so here we go, man. Number 1, Alabama. 100% agree, man. That was a great win for them. Obviously struggled a little bit in the second half, but that's more of a credit to Georgia, who you see at number 5. But overall, man, they started that game out. They was dominating. It was the Jalen Milroe show. He looked like a Heisman finalist with that performance that he put on, man. And for the most part, they controlled it. Got to fix some things in the secondary, but they held serve, was able to play strong. Xavier Brown gets the game-sealing interception. Overall, a pretty good game for Kalen DeBoer and Jalen Milroe. And Alabama shows they're still Alabama. Now, at 2, Texas picked up a big win. Archman and balled out. I believe he had 3 touchdowns in the win against Mississippi State. He looked like he's ready to go when he gets the opportunity. He has won 3 games for Texas. They haven't missed a beat. They look like one of the better teams in the country. 3, Ohio State. They beat Michigan State. Jeremiah Smith, man, had them one-handed catches with ease. I still think Ryan Williams is one of the best freshmen. But, hey, Jeremiah Smith, he doing his thing. He's showing them up as well. They got a big game coming up this weekend before they finally take on a formidable opponent in Oregon here in a few weeks. So that would be one to watch. Can't wait to break down that matchup. All right, and then at 4, you got Tennessee. They'll be back this week. Big game against Arkansas coming up. I believe they'll be on ABC. So that'll be a great game to see. Unfortunately, won't be able to watch it. I'll be watching that. I'll be at Georgia Tech covering that game when they play Duke. But still, that number 4, I like that pick. For Georgia and for Georgia fans, man, y'all should feel good. Only dropped a couple spots in the AP poll. We'll see what the college football playoff rankings officially have. But to be a number 5 team after that loss, hey, you can see the committee mess with you. The AP poll voters mess with you as well. And they liked your resolve and your ability to fight back in that game and make that a game and take the lead. So they really mess with you. So everything's still out in front for Georgia. All they got to do is handle their business, man. But everything, all their goals, all their aspirations, still out there. Number 6, Oregon. They dominated in their win this past week. Just offense looked electric. No answers defensively for the other opposing opponent. They look good. Penn State, despite in that game 3 combined missed field goals in that when they pulled out a nail-biter, went by 14 points against Illinois, who played them very, very tough. And she had 24 Illinois. They didn't drop too low. Miami, man, barely pulled it out. A lot of controversy at the end, but a win is a win. You will definitely take that for the Hurricanes, man. You got to feel good if you're a Hurricanes fan. Everything out in front. You're top team in the ACC, and you look like a national title contender. Also, shout out to Cam Ward, man. Outstanding job by him. All right, and at 9, you got Missouri, Luther Burden and crew. They got a big game coming up this weekend as well. They're going to play Texas A&M in the early window. I believe it's going to be on ABC, so that's going to be one to watch. I'll break down those matchups later in the week. Can't wait for that one, but Missouri looks like a pretty good team, and they're going to have to face another top opponent. All right, at number 10, you had Michigan. They struggled a little bit in their win, but nonetheless, they was able to pull it out, still remain a top team. They upset it and beat USC at home. Michigan, you got to feel good. You've defended the home field. Going to have some road games here coming up, but you got to feel pretty good about the win and doing what you was able to do. At number 11, USC, they still like a good team with Miller Moss. Scored, I believe they were down I think it was 21-10. They scored, I think it was 40-something plus unanswered in their win. So shout out to them, man. That was big going up against Wisconsin. Being able to come back after they had took the lead, dominated the first half. Miller Moss, Woody Marks, that got to go in the second half and was able to pull away. Man, the next one, Kentucky. Hey, if Kentucky keep beating these good teams, they might have to be on this AP poll here soon enough, man. But Ole Miss drops to number 12 after losing at home. And again, they were highly favored in against Kentucky and that defense and what they was able to bring to the table, a top 5 defense in college football. All right, 13, you got LSU. They picked up a win this week. LSU continues to look good. They beat South Alabama. Kind of a get-right, fix-it game before some critical matchups come up for them. At 14, I told y'all about Notre Dame, man. I'll talk about Louisville here in a second, man. But I knew Notre Dame was going to win that one. I know it was a close victory, man. But Notre Dame just has too much. Riley Leonard had a pretty good game throwing through the air. I don't know if they're necessarily a national contender, but I just had a feeling they were going to win. All right, Clemson keeps rolling, man, at number 15. Big-time win for them. Clay Klubnik lights it up yet again, man. They pick up another big win at home against Stanford. They're doing their thing. 16, Iowa State. 17, BYU. 18, Utah. Suffered their first loss of the season to Arizona. That was a big game right there. And a big win for Arizona being able to beat the Utes, man. That was huge because the favorite right now in the Big 12 is Utah. So that was a big, big win, obviously for Arizona being able to upset them. All right, 19, Oklahoma escapes after I've already talked about it. Peyton Thorne bonehead play, man. Had the bubble screen right there. Just have to get it out. Quilted under pressure, man. A game that Auburn should have not lost, right? Throughout the whole game, they were dominating defensively. Besides, obviously, giving up the 60-yard pass, they did their thing. I thought Cam Coleman looked good. Malcolm Simmons was making plays all over the field. They have bad decision makers at quarterback, and that's the position that's hurting them a lot right now. So that's why they're 2-3. But Oklahoma, nonetheless, with Michael Hawkins, true freshman, they keep going, they keep battling, and they come out with a close win. Hey, can't be mad at that. You're 4-1, and you're still in the AP poll. At number 20, Avery Johnson has a day, and they beat Oklahoma State, man. Big win at home for them. They're going to have Colorado coming up here after their bye week. Should be very, very, very interesting, to say the least. I actually had Oklahoma State winning that, but they shut it down. They made it tough sledding for Ollie Gordon and Avery Johnson. They had no answers defensively. Oklahoma State did for them. So they drop out of the poll. 21-man Boise State, they're looking good. I'll tell you what about Boise State, though. Ashton Genty is having a season. 845 yards rushing and 13 touchdowns, averaging 10.3 yards a carry. Only a junior. He is absolutely tearing it up in college football. And in the game, in their win against Washington State, he had 259 yards rushing and 4 touchdowns. And like I said, they're still ranked. They had a close loss to Oregon, who's supposed to be a national contender this year. Ted Johnson obviously went off in their last game. But Ashton Genty, I think he submitted his stats as a Heisman, I don't want to say finalist, but as a Heisman front runner, somebody that could be in that conversation. After that game he had, they look good. All right, next you got Louisville. Again, I think after a few weeks, they're going to drop out of this poll. They still got to play Clemson, and they still got to play some top teams in the ACC. I don't see it. I told y'all before I wasn't sold. I'm not sold on Tyler Shue. I like, obviously, they running back system they got with Duke Watson, Kewan Brown. I like Ja'Cory Brooks, but they don't have enough, and the defense is not as good as people think. And I think Notre Dame exposed that a little bit, so I don't think they'll be here for too much longer. All right, at number 23, Indiana, right? 5-0 for the first time in a long time. Indiana, are they finally back? Big time win for them this past week. And then we look at Indiana. Defensively, they got to get this together because the quarterback from Maryland had 3 touchdowns in this one. But offensively, you got to feel good if you're an Indiana fan. Curtis Rogue didn't have his best game, but still lit it up. 359 yards passing, 3 touchdowns, and then you have balance when it comes to running the ball. Tyson Lawton, 19 carries, 93 yards, and a touchdown. Justice Ellison, 12 carries, 51 yards, and a touchdown. Kalen Black, 3 carries, 17 yards. You got to feel really good if you're an Indiana fan because the team feels like they're finally back. You finally got a team that can possibly contend in the Big Ten. It ain't the powers all the time, the Ohio States, the Penn States, the Michigans. Now you got a potential chance to battle in the Big Ten. So congrats to them, man. Love to see that for Indiana and the Hoosiers finally being competitive. And as my boy Jalen Bell said, the new Indiana, man. He called it. He said it before the season started. And we seen him on the football field. An underrated pick as well. And I think he's going to be a great player for Indiana. And Indiana got something special brewing. All right, last but not least, Illinois, like I said, tough loss offensively. Penn State shut them down. It was a tough game, only 7 points. They were struggling to hit their shot plays down the field. Running game was pretty much, non-existent, was limited. But got to shout out Penn State, man. It's hard to win there in the Happy Valley, and they absolutely showed what they could do. All right, and the last one is UNLV, so we're going to get into that real quick. First off, man, shout out to this young man right here. Haji Malik Williams absolutely balled in their win against Fresno State. 13 for 16, 301 yards, and 4 total touchdowns. It was so much buzz. You had national spotlight, national attention after Matthew Sluka decided to redshirt. You had your running back redshirt. It was just so much buzz and noise in the negative way for this football team, and he still was able to go in there and handle their business, and he dominated. Only 3 incompletions. He had more touchdowns than incompletions in this one, man. So shout out to UNLV for pulling out 4-0 start. Gotta feel good, be able to block out the noise, whole season out in front of you, man. Tough spot to be in, but that is college football until we get regulation from up above and the NCAA and other government regulations for the meantime. But shout out to them for winning. All right, to conclude the video, only team I have to say that I feel like got left out is Colorado. Now, I understand they're 4-1. Obviously, they lost earlier this year. But, man, them going on the road and dominating UCF when everybody had UCF winning by 2 touchdowns, hey, man. Hey, that was outstanding. But the good thing for Colorado, you get a bye week, so somebody's going to knock off each other in these standings here. And you play Kansas State to come out of the break. Doesn't get much better than that. You get a full week of rest. Might get Shiloh Sanders back. Shadour's ball on the offensive line looks good. Travis Hunter's a Heisman candidate. Got a lot going for yourself. So if you're Colorado, whole season ahead, and you might be a ranked team after you play K-State. So that's it, y'all. Y'all comment below your thoughts on the new AP poll dropping today.